All right. We do have a guest. He is here. He has arrived. He's a longtime veteran in the world of wrestling. He faced Roderick Strong, I think technically 2 weeks ago at DPW Super Battle, but it just aired this past week. You know him from ROH. You might know him from Twitter. You know him from around the independent scene nowadays. We're blessed to welcome the one, the only Erick Stevens. Erick, how you doing, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Doing well. Are you a basketball
Good.
fan?
I'm a fan of all sports, like a tertiary basketball fan. I get into it during the playoffs. I don't really have a team, but my son is fanatical. He just kind of discovered basketball over the last couple of years. Unfortunately got into he's a Golden State Warriors fan.
Oh,
And
that's
so I told
unfortunate.
him, I know I had to tell him you got in a little bit late on that one, but he's really a devout fan, and I appreciate that. He knows that I like LeBron, so he always likes to get on me when they beat the Lakers, and I'm like, I don't really care, man. But that's his thing. But I like basketball. I love football. Football is my sport. So,
Okay.
but I do enjoy basketball. I was more of a '90s, early 2000s basketball guy.
I was gonna say, is that a Bulls shirt? Is that a?
I'm older, yeah. So I always go, are you a Bulls fan? I go, no, man, I just love basketball, and especially in the '90s and early 2000s. So that was my era. So I just like sports in general. I don't watch baseball, but I appreciate baseball. My son seems to like it too. I showed him the clip of Freddie Freeman's walk off last night, and that pop in wrestling terms is nothing like it on a walk off World Series home run. Nothing like it.
Yeah, I don't care about baseball. And then, so we're technically a morning wrestling show, but as you can tell, we like sports and a lot of bit of everything. We're going to talk Love is Blind. I know you're a Love is Blind fan as well.
Yes.
So
I love trash TV and just
trash
reality.
Oh,
shows.
yes.
You came to the right show.
Yes.
Awesome.
we love our trash reality show. So we're going to talk about that as well. But yeah, like World Series, I don't care. I don't rooting interest, but I like watching history. I like watching good teams play. So I'll stay up till 3 a.m. to watch 18 innings out here. All right, let's talk a little.
It's hard to articulate. I'm not to go off on the sports tangent.
No.
Like trying to explain to my son why Shohei Ohtani is so insane. Like he doesn't understand. But I'm like, you don't get it. Like this dude. I mean, kind of to put in basketball terms, it's kind of like Wemby. Like Wemby is a unicorn. Shohei is a unicorn. Like these guys, they didn't exist until right now. Like you're one of one. It's crazy. So it's a very fun time to be a sports fan, I think.
Yeah, that's a great comparison too, because we were just talking about Wemby, how we never seen a guy who's 7'3" with that speed, with that skill on the court, and then Ohtani setting a record for 9 times on base in a playoff game, and he's then pitching today.
Yeah,
like,
why not?
I've never seen anything like this in baseball.
Like Wemby, that clip a couple of days ago where he does 2 blocks and then takes the 3 from Steph Curry
against the
range,
Nets.
drains it. I'm like, yo, what? That's not supposed to happen. So it's really fun, really fascinating time to be a sports fan.
Who's your football team?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm born and raised a Bucs fan. I've been with them through good and through bad, through creamsicle and through pewter. And my son is a Bucs fan as well. He's spoiled because he was born into decent times. We kind of sucked when he was little, and then as soon as he started watching and like knowing what was going on, we won a Super Bowl. I'm like, you don't even get to pay. You don't have to pay your dues, man. Like, you don't understand. Like we won our first Super Bowl when I was a kid. I went through some hard times, some real hard seasons. So it felt a lot more gratifying, but it was awesome because I got to see that Super Bowl win with my dad and with my son. So all 3 generations of Bucs fans. Never thought I'd get to that chance, and big ups to TB12 for that one.
Nice. Yeah, the kids who were just like a team immediately, and it's like, oh, and they're just good. Like the kids who were Patriots fans when Brady's winning 7 Super Bowls and everything. It's like y'all don't, like, as Dusty wrote, y'all don't know hard times.
Yeah,
or
like Chiefs,
come on
Chiefs,
now.
Chiefs fans.
Yeah, Chiefs fans nowadays.
Like you didn't have to go through like Tyler Thigpen or even like Alex Smith or any of those guys. Like you just got Patrick Mahomes. Like how spoiled can you be?
Yeah.
My friend's a Chiefs fan, and we're about the same age, and so like he actually went through all the tough times. Like, all right, I can respect that. Then his kid's a Chiefs fan. It's like she's just won a Super Bowl. every year.
Yeah.
She doesn't get it. That's not real fandom out
You
here.
don't understand how it works for the rest of us. So.
Yes. So we got a little bit of a rivalry, me and you, Eric. I'm a Panthers fan, and the Panthers are terrible. We've been terrible for years, but same division. There was some good battles back in the day, not so much nowadays.
Do you buy this narrative that Saints fans love to spin where they go, the Bucks aren't our rivals. We only hate the Falcons. I don't believe in that at all. I hate every team in my division.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I hated everybody else in the NFC Central. I hated Detroit. I hated Minnesota. I hated Chicago. I hated Green Bay. Hated them all. And now I hate the Panthers. And I have to explain to my son, I'm like, when I say hate, I don't want Bryce Young to break his leg. And if he got hurt, I wouldn't cheer. I'd be sad for him. However, when they got blown out by the Bills, I smile. When the Falcons get dog walked by the Dolphins, I laugh. And I was like, I don't even care. We could lose to the Saints today and I'd still be happy. But I know it's we definitely got our ass whipped a fair share of times. The fact that I even named my son Cam was a small miracle because I had some PTSD. I had some PTSD with Cam. I hated Cam Newton, dude. He owned us. Drew Brees owned us. I mean, even Jake Delhomme owned us. So it's like, we had a lot of years of getting being the jobbers of the division. So it's all cyclical. Our time will come back around again. You guys will get good. That's how sports goes.
See, I hate the Bucks because they are division rivalry, so I don't like anybody in the division, like you mentioned. I'll have a rooting interest in Baker because I think the Panthers did him wrong, didn't really give him a chance. And my wife's a Cleveland fan, and so she went through all of that, and she is like, she's like, I'm glad Baker got away from this town. Like, he deserved so much better than that. But she's like, the Browns did him bad because they wanted to pay Deshaun a bunch of money, and then he turned out to be a terrible person on top of a terrible quarterback. And she's like, I will root for Baker as well. So I'm like, yeah, same. I think the Panthers kind of didn't do him great. So I like seeing Baker succeed, even if it does mean the Bucs succeeding.
He's America's quarterback, It's hard not to root for. My good friend, Dominique Guarini, one half of the best team in independent wrestling, is a Browns diehard.
Yeah.
And when Baker started to start on his run, I said, man, don't you hate to see this? He goes, no, because I knew that Baker would never succeed in the Cleveland Browns organization. And there's just certain organizations where a player is not going to flourish. I mean, Saquon had some good years, but he was never going to do anything significant with the Giants. So he went to the Eagles. He was put in a position to do better. And, you see that in wrestling all the time. Guys in WWE, they don't get a chance or they're not put in the right program. And then they go to AEW and they flourish, and vice versa. That's just the way things go. And not every athlete is going to succeed in every organization or every place they're at. So, Patrick Mahomes gets drafted by the Bears. I don't think he's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, much different player there. We love Guarini. He's been on the show multiple times. He's another Ohio guy. I live in Ohio, unfortunately.
Okay. My parents are from Ohio. I spent a lot of time in AAW, so I have some fond I have an affinity for Ohio, certain parts of it anyways. Sure, but I can see how it would get old.
Yeah, if you're visiting, it's fine, but living here, it's a different story. All right, let's talk a little bit of wrestling because we got trash TV to talk about
all day
as well. For sure.
For sure.
So we tell this to people. The link doesn't change. If you ever just want to pop on and bullshit about sports, the link I sent you, pop on anytime. We're live Monday through Friday, 10 to 12. So if you ever just want to get banter about sports and reality television with us, you're more than welcome to join us. Wrestling, you were back in the ring with Roderick Strong a couple weeks ago. I think everyone knows how good Roderick Strong is. You see it all the time. You see a lot of praise for him. But being in the ring with him, what is it about him that's like, oh yeah, this guy's different, that people might not quite understand, even if they do understand how good he is?
I know I'm biased, but when people talk about Roderick and they ask me what makes him different, I've always said the same thing about him. And just recently, I don't know why I took this long, people have started to notice this, but the gas tank is one thing, but the consistency of effort and performance and what he puts out in the ring, his output has not changed since day one. He's just always been a guy who goes 100%, really, really dedicated to his in-ring ability and his conditioning. And so, that's a guy that you cannot take. There's no nights off There's never been a night off with Roddy. And I think when him and I get together, there's definitely never a situation where we're like, let's take it easy tonight. We're going to beat each other's ass. That's what we do. And you saw in DPW, that's what we did. And the fans tend to enjoy that kind of thing. And that's really my flavor of wrestling. Roddy's favorite flavor of wrestling is that physical style. And he's very physical. He has almost bottomless gas tank. And that's a dangerous combination.
So I've been following you like for years. I'm an old school Hammerstein Ballroom Mark from Ring of Honor in the aughts. So I was in the building when you beat Roderick for the FIP championship at Ring of Honor Final Battle 2007. How do you look back on like all those battles that you had with Roderick and FIP and Ring of Honor now years ago before you stepped in the ring with him over the last 2 weeks?
You know what? I'm really flattered that people still bring up our feud and they still talk about it to this day, because the way wrestling goes nowadays is just so much wrestling, and it's so easy to forget about even the good stuff just because there's tons of content. There's hundreds of hours of content seemingly every week, and so that people still bring that up is very flattering. But I have to say that it's a shame that a lot of our best matches happen in FIP because nobody sees them. Barely anybody saw them back then. So it's even harder to see them now. I really do think that for as much love as the Ring of Honor matches got, there was, for example, there was a last man standing match we had in Crystal River that was probably the most physical match we ever had. I remember I was so beat up. I got sick the next day. Like my body just shut down. Like we killed each other. We had a dog collar match. We had a couple, one-off. Obviously we had the redefined match in Crystal River that everybody talks about, which is, I think, probably the best match we ever had. And of course that was what ignited the feud. That Hammerstein match was a great one in terms of the memories of it, because when I pinned him, the pop was so crazy. I remember that still vividly to this day, because I was still really relatively new, having a hard time like getting over, and I didn't know how they would respond to me succeeding, and it was good. It was a great moment for me. And Tiger Driver on the ramp sucked ass, but if you're gonna beat Roddy, you're gonna have to take your lumps. So, but I looked back very fondly on that, and I think that our match in DPW a couple weeks ago was a fine bookend. It was two guys at completely different stages of their lives and careers, and it was important that we had a match that we could be proud of to finish, to put a capper on that, because we didn't really get, just for the same reason I came back in 2019. I didn't feel like I put a good bookend on my career. I didn't feel satisfied with that. Similarly, with our feud, we never got that. We got the big last match in Ring of Honor, but we didn't get to put a period on that long story. And so this was our chance to close the book definitively. Maybe someday we'll be like, have white hair and just be all saggy and chopping each other in the ring somewhere, but I doubt it. We're smarter than that. So it's nice to go out on top. And DPW fans, the organization, it was it was just the perfect place to do it, and it was a great night.
We've had multiple DPW wrestlers on throughout the years since they've existed, and Greeny being one of them, Kevin Koo being another, and they always say like this is big ROH vibes. And for someone who was there in ROH at kind of when the roster was kind of at its peak, and then being there this past year, like what would you say is kind of the same and different with the two companies?
I said it before, and it wasn't me just blowing smoke, but the reason I wouldn't have come back if DPW did not exist, because I watched their shows and I got the feeling that I got when I used to watch Ring of Honor before I was there. It had the same vibe. It's hard to explain, but if you watch it, you watched Ring of Honor in the 2000s, you kind of get what I'm saying. And so I looked at them as almost a spiritual successor to Ring of Honor, because a lot of companies have tried, but none of them have really captured that feeling. And for me to see these shows and to get that feeling, I was like, that's where I want to be. And luckily things worked out. And I could not think of a better place to, have a legacy defining run, in my opinion, than DPW.
So I actually discovered you on Twitter a couple of like a year and a half ago, and I just really got was blown away, because first of all, I just saw you as like a wrestling fan. Then I clicked on your picture and I was like, oh my god, that's Erick Stevens. So how important was that, kind of your interactions on social media with like fans and hearing all the memories fans have from your career, and then getting kind of exposed to different parts of professional wrestling currently? How important was that to your coming back to professional wrestling?
Twitter's a double-edged sword, I think, and that's putting it lightly. It gives you so many opportunities to be exposed to new types of wrestling and fans, for better or for worse. But on the flip side of it, it could be bad for you if you don't know how to handle it. And I have no problem saying that I've done a lot of growing up on Twitter. When I got on the app originally, like, I had some serious crash outs. And look, not to make excuses, but everybody got a little weird during COVID, right? But I used to get in arguments with people. I used to troll people, and I guess because I was newer to the platform. I mean, I'm just too old to be acting like that to begin with. But I was newer to the platform. I don't know. I get a temper, and sometimes I let my temper get the best of me. I've done a lot of work on myself over the years, and I don't feel the desire to engage in vitriol these days. So, as a wrestling fan, first and foremost, before anything else, I try to focus on the positive. I try to look at I try to promote what I enjoy. Like, I don't see the point in retweeting something to crap on it unless you're trying to pay your rent with the Twitter dollars. You know what I mean? There's a lot of grifters out there who make their name and their money off of negativity, and I can't deal with that, because it just doesn't feel good. Like, it weighs on your conscience, it weighs on your soul. It's just not fun. Like, your mental health is very important to me, and if you're just constantly putting out negativity, it's going to weigh on you. So, like I said, I know it sounds cheesy, but I focus on the positive and what I like about wrestling, because there's a lot of great stuff, a lot of things that we should be excited about in pro wrestling today, and we shouldn't amplify the voices who only focus on the negative and about how it used to be or how it should be. And I think as a veteran of the business, I owe it to the next generation to lead by example. I cannot act a certain way and then tell somebody to do, something that isn't my style. And so I see a lot of wrestlers these days. How do I put this? Stepping on their own toes. And if I can give any piece of advice, I would just say, don't argue with fans on Twitter. And really, the simplest way to go about Twitter is just promote your shows, post cool clips of yourself, post your promos, and keep it moving. If you want to talk about your personal interests, that's fine. But with Twitter, it's, the classic, I like pancakes. Oh, so you hate waffles? Like, you can't talk about anything without somebody getting mad. So it's if you want to be an activist, that's on you. Sometimes, like, Twitter can just be such a toxic place that I just like to talk about wrestling, and I like to focus on the positives and the things that I enjoy, things that make me feel good, and then go back to my regular life.
Who are some guys, speaking of kind of current generation and guys you might have like your eye on, who's some guys today that you're like, all right, this guy has it, as long as he just kind of stays on a good path here, we'll probably be seeing him on television soon enough?
Once again, this is going to come off as biased, but like the DPW roster, there's so many guys in there, and girls that I think are, the future of the sport. Adam Priest,
love Adam,
despite his attitude issues. Just an incredible talent. Trevor Lee, he's proven by going to WWE and performing at that level, then coming back to the Indies. We know he's got all the skill in the world. Once again, attitude issues, but just a stud. I mean, LeBron Cozone. Every time I talk about him, I just end up saying the same thing. He's built like a Greek statue. He is just like the prototypical ace. He's another stud. Who else? I mean, the tag team division, Miracle Generation, is incredible. Man, I can go on and talk about. You just name people off, and I'd be like, oh yeah, they're good. It's just Manny Lowe. Once again, I keep naming all these assholes, but they are good. They are. Manny Lowe is a dickhead, but he's the future to me. And we got to watch him and Leon tangle, and it was like it's like watching the future, like in the same ring. So hopefully he gets his head sorted out. Hopefully he gets his mind right, but he's got all the physical tools.
So we always hear that a lot of wrestlers like learn certain things along the way and get better with age. So what would you say is like the one thing in the ring now that you get a lot more than you did back in like the early aughts or early 2010s?
I've always been kind of a late bloomer. Like when I played football in high school, I played offensive line. I was like, I was a pulling guard. So I used to just go 100%, just run as fast as I could, and just try to like just blow these defensive ends up or these linebackers up. And I realized that like after watching football a couple of years after that, I'm like, oh, the point of it is to keep your feet, hit that guy, chip him, and then work to the next level so you can block more than one guy. Oh, that makes a lot more sense now. Like the footwork things, I'm like, I watch all these offensive linemen and I'm like, oh, footwork's important. These things. I was just trying to hit dudes as hard as I could. And to put that in wrestling terms, it's largely the same thing. If you're wrestling regularly, like a lot of these indie guys are now, you're wrestling a couple times a week, you can't do certain things and expect it to not bite you in the ass at some point down the line. I say it all the time. They go, oh, nothing hurts. I go, nothing hurts right now. Nothing hurts. Nothing hurts until it does. So I've learned to take my recovery more seriously, to take less risks, I would say take smarter chances in the ring, more high percentage looks in sports terms, less swinging for the fences all the time. But it's just one of those things that, having time away from wrestling helps out a lot, because you watch wrestling and you get a better idea of the kind of wrestler that you want to be. You see stuff you like, stuff you don't like, and then you work from there. But it has helped a lot for me to take a step back, and it's helped me even more to work at the dark arts school with the young kids, the kids who are just getting their feet wet in the sport, and seeing it from their perspective. Kind of like when I watch Disney movies with my kids, it's like seeing Disney movies through the lens of your children is much different. You find it's a lot more enjoyable. So just like with wrestling, when I see it through the lens, not of the bitter, jaded veteran, but of the new kid who just wants to make a living, who wants to, succeed in the sport, it's enlightening for sure.
You mentioned things hurting. You mentioned the bump against Roddy years ago with Tiger Driver on the ramp and everything. Is that the worst bump you've taken? If not, what is?
That belly to back on the guardrail was probably top 5 with me and Roddy anyways. That shit hurt. So you don't see it in the clip, but first of all, I hit my spine on the back, on the guardrail, which is horrible to begin with. And then I spill into the crowd and land on the back of my head. So I smack my head on the ground. My back hurts. My head hurts. There's a little blood coming out. And that sucked. But, there's been a lot of the stuff that you wouldn't think hurts that bad always hurts the worst. I tell people this all the time. There's nothing in pro wrestling, my least favorite thing ever is when you take a back body drop and you over rotate and your feet hit first, and it's like a car wreck. It's the worst. I'll say that anything Morishima did was probably like top 10 all time for me. He's like wrestling a bear, pretty much. And the bear was so nice in the backstage area. I don't know what happened when we got in the ring. He's such a well-mannered, polite, shy bear, and then I get out in the ring and he's trying to rip my head off. It sucks, you know. Nigel's lariats always were horrible. God, they were horrible. One time, Danielson kicked me in the back so hard that I lost feeling in my legs. So that was, I don't know if I could classify that as pain, but I was like, did he just paralyze me? You know, but he just hit. You get hit. If you get hit in the spine in a certain area, it kind of does a little nerve thing. You're like when you hit your funny bone, right? Except it's down into your toes. And you're like, oh God, is this it? No, I was fine though. He just kicked the shit out of me. But yeah, so like I've forgotten half of the worst bumps I've ever taken. But you know, it's not a sport for people who aren't resilient. It's a sport for gritty people, and you know, it's just part of. And I've tried to explain this to my wife all the time. She's always so scared for me. I go, you got to understand, this is just one of those things that, you know, like when I got dumped on my head, I bounced off the guardrail into my head. She's like, were you scared? I go, no, absolutely not. I was like, I had a match to win. There's no room for that fear in that moment. So adrenaline is very, very powerful, and I'm just glad I can keep doing this. You know, a lot of 43-year-olds these days, you know, can't even tie their shoes. So I'm pretty psyched. I'm pretty psyched about this.
Okay, I do have a quick follow up on Bryan Danielson, since you've wrestled, shared a locker room with him. Did he talk about flaccid penises back in the day as well?
Oh my God! So here's I've shared this with a lot of people. Bryan is not a mean person. He's not mean spirited. He's not evil. However, I've never met anybody who gets off on making people uncomfortable like this guy. So if he knows there's something that kind of pisses you off or gets your goat, he's gonna hammer it, and he will. So that the flaccid penis conversation, I guarantee you, I wasn't there for it, but I guarantee you, he noticed somebody getting uncomfortable when he was talking about it. So that just it's like a shark smelling blood in the water. Like that's his drug. So he's just gonna keep doing it. And I've seen him do it. I mean, to so many people in the locker room. Just it's, you know, like I said, it's never like bullying. It's more or less like how far can I push this? How uncomfortable can I make this person before they absolutely lose it? But yeah, I wasn't there for that. But I've, you know, just case in point, and this isn't really, you know, as much about that as it is about how silly he is as a person. The last time I saw him, I was working at Bally's. It's a gym. It was a gym chain in Tampa. I was a personal trainer. It was 2007 or 2008. 2007, I think. Or no, 8. He had just been signed, and he had reported to developmental. And he came in. He dropped into Bally's to work out. And I was like, "Oh, Brian, what's up, man? How's it going? Did they give you a new name yet?" And he goes, "No, but I floated a couple out there. I don't think they're too psyched about it." I go, "What'd you say?" He goes, "Well, one of them was Buddy Peacock." And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And he's like, "The other one was Lloyd Boner." He's like, "Regal really didn't like that one." I go, no way, he didn't like Lloyd Boner. That's crazy. So he's just a silly goose. He's a really funny guy. Very underrated aspect of his personality. I think we've seen a lot more of that in the last few years. But I think that people go, "Oh, he's the best wrestler of all time." Like he can't. He's serious. He's a super serious guy. He's not. He's a gigantic ball buster.
So you just mentioned how, you know, a traditional underdog babyface Bryan Danielson is a needler, and known bear in the ring Morishima is a sweetheart in the locker room. Who else kind of has like that juxtaposition between how we see them in the ring to how you've experienced them and known them in real life in the locker room?
I mean, there's a lot of guys who are, you know, the same in the back as they are in the ring, but most of us have a switch. You know, I definitely think that I do. I'm a very nice person in general. I just don't have a lot of I don't have lot of meanness in me, but when I get in the ring, it's different. I think that's why pro wrestling is so important for a lot of us. It gives us an outlet to be dickheads and to be rough, to be mean. I know after dealing with my kids all day, sometimes it's like I need to go wrestling training and beat up some students right now. So I can't think. It's a cliche, but a lot of the Japanese guys I've wrestled are from culturally speaking, it's just so different, right? Go Shiozaki, for example, when he came over, it was for his first excursion. That's why he was over here wrestling for FIP and Ring of Honor. And I remember I bought a book of naughty Japanese phrases, and I would horribly read them. I know the pronunciation was horrible, but he definitely understood what I was saying, because every time I'd read one off, he'd go, "Oh no." So guys like they're so different, some American wrestlers are disgusting, and he's just like, don't say no, please. But yeah, all that. I mean, it's just everybody has their outlets in life, and I think that a lot of us, use pro wrestling to blow off steam.
All right, let's talk a little Love Is Blind here.
Okay.
Have you watched the new season?
This season was horrible. It was like the casting.
I still haven't watched it because of that. Everybody I've asked said that.
It was like the casting directors were like, let's just blow this whole thing up. Let's just get the worst possible people and see what happens. And so, yeah, it was a very unlikable season, I would say, on the whole. Like, a lot of the people were very unlikable. Not to say that the other, seasons were, full of people you love, but it just, I don't know. It's a great experiment, I would say, and I found myself hate watching near the end. I was just like, I'm just being very judgmental. I'm really excited for the reunion because I feel like there's going to be some tea, as the kids say. But this season was a little bit of a letdown as a romantic. You always want things to turn out for the best, but you knew when the people picked who they picked, you kind of saw the writing on the wall.
See, I like this season because the Minnesota season was so bad and so boring.
Yeah, that was boring.
That was boring.
At least we had like some drama and some nonsense going on. So I was like, all right, it might not work out for all these people, and certainly didn't, but at least they're like doing something this season. We at least need that, because the Minnesota season's like, you guys just can someone throw a drink? Can we fight?
I think that's
somewhere?
why I haven't watched this season, because that Minnesota season turned me off of the US version of Love Is Blind. I watched the UK version, but I was like, I don't know if I want to watch US. I'll hear the reviews. I'll hear what everybody thinks, and then I'll watch it.
Because you want, at bare minimum, some cringe. Like, you just want that's why this season, I think that's where this season delivers, where it lacks in, people who root for. There's a lot of cringe moments and some good lines that I will not soon forget.
I mean, people aren't going to top Leo, the white, as a watch, he's a millionaire. That dude
that's the great.
That dude was great TV.
ever.
Him and Brittany. I'm still mad they didn't go on the vacation, because they would have screwed things up so bad. Like, they were never gonna last, but
I think they should force people to go to Cancun.
Oh yes, that's what my wife.
Contract, get your ass on the plane.
Yeah, that's what my wife says. She's like, you got to send everybody. Just send everybody to Cancun. I don't care if they got coupled up or anything. Everybody's got to go, so we can just screw things up for people.
If you guys are gonna melt down, we're gonna see it. We need to see it. Okay, this is for our entertainment.
What other trash reality shows do you like?
So my wife, this is one that I'll watch, but I'll usually be playing my Steam Deck or my Portal next to my wife. She loves Selling Sunset. I always marvel the outfits that these chicks wear to sell houses in. I'm like, yo, that is crazy. Like, that's a little bit much for the club. And they're just like, hi, this is a $7 million home. And all these dudes are like, sold. There's just a bunch of hot chicks. Like, oh, it's easy. What a slam dunk! Like, there's no. Like, here's like one dude. Of course, he looks like Ken from Barbie. So, what else do we enjoy? We like all the dating shows. Are You the One? Big fans of Are You the One? Perfect Match. Another another great one.
Nice.
We try to watch Love Island. Love Island's not our thing. It's not people love it, but that's not
too
not
slow
our
moving.
thing.
Too much going on. Too much talking. Yeah, we're the
like
same
that.
way.
Yeah, but our Perfect Match was our favorite because you get these kids and they'd be like, this is it's us, and they take them into the room and they're like, you're not a perfect match, and they just be like so heartbroken. And I'm a sicko. What a messed up person. I'm like, I knew they weren't a match. So yeah, those are fun. You know, it's just like pro wrestling. We know it's not real. Like it's nobody's actually, you know. I mean, some people catch the feelings for sure, but you know, for the most part, everybody's just trying to get famous these days. It seems like, which is kind of why I think the reality dating shows kind of jumped the shark. Because it's like, come on, man, we all know everybody just wants to become an influencer off these shows, but maybe some people are actually looking for love because every once in a while, you know, you have a couple that works out and they stay together for years and they're still together, so that's cool.
Yeah. Are You the One might be the most toxic dating show in reality show history. Oh my! Especially the early seasons, they are the most toxic people. It's like you hear the most disgusting things, but you can't stop watching. It's like a car.
You know, it's an MTV.
They're like this.
I'm like, this is an MTV production for sure.
Yeah.
And they know how to set those things up.
It's so sad that like they don't do Are You the One, Perfect Match, and all this stuff anymore. It's like, bring these shows back. The last few seasons of Are You the One.
Love is Blind is the only thing they care about anymore, which is I understand. It totally makes sense, but you know.
Yeah, the MTV needs to get back into the. I don't even know if MTV exists anymore.
Stopped. The MTV Music networks are all gone now, so all they have left is the flagship channel, which doesn't even play music, which is so crazy.
Nope. And then they used to play a lot of their shows on their website, and I checked this like the other week, and they don't even do that anymore.
No, it's all on Paramount. It's all on Paramount Plus now. You know, if you're a sicko like me, and you're like, where's all the old dating show? Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Every couple of years, I want to watch the second season of Jersey Shore, so that's why I want to watch older episodes of Room Raiders. That's what I'm trying to see.
Oh, there we go.
Dope show.
You know? There's
the Blacklight.
Oh my god, dude, what a horrible! How horrifying to be watching if somebody does that to you. You're like, oh my god.
What was the show Next? That one was
next.
Yeah.
Nothing was better when somebody got off the bus and they were like, next.
Immediately.
Immediately. Without the single word. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. It was like the best thing that could ever happen. You know, it was like 100-yard run or something. Like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
They kind of have that.
A lot of trash.
Oh, go ahead.
Like Pimp My Ride.
And they kind of have that with.
Yeah.
They kind of have that with the balloon popping show where they like walk up and people got like balloons in their hands and they see the person immediately walk up like, nope, pop. It's like, he hasn't said a single word. He's just popping it.
They did a live version of that on Netflix, and that was some good trash TV. Some real good trash TV.
Oh yeah, I saw the one with bananas from the challenge, and he was cringe as hell. Oh my god,
he was brutal. And you know what's funny too? I love when the chicks will have or dudes, and they won't pop the balloon. They come out, and then they'll be talking to them, and they'll answer like 3 questions, and then just be like. Sometimes they don't even wait. They'll just do it randomly. Like, I just didn't like his pants. It's like, I'm just like, when I watch those shows, I think the reason my wife and I love watching these shows is because we're like, we don't have to do that, and that is so great. Like dating these days, forget the shows. Like real life dating it's just completely different than it was even when my wife and I met. We met on Match.com actually in 2011. But even 2011, you know, it's just so different. People were actually trying to make connections on Match.com. It wasn't like Tinder and things like that. So, you know, it's a tough landscape out there. So I feel for all my single people.
Yeah, I somehow met my wife on Twitter. I still don't know how that was interconnected.
I met my missus on Facebook, so we're all in the same boat.
Thank goodness for the internet, or we would still be lonely losers talking about wrestling all day.
But when we watch these shows, we say the same thing of like, oh, thank God I have you. These people are just the worst people in the world. Like, I can't believe this is how real people act. It's like, well, sometimes that's how they act, but it's also a television show. But these people also exist in this manner. And yes, these are real people who are out there doing these things. Like, oh, our relationship is so great. Like, these people just like picking fights and everything. That's the best / worst on like Love is Blind. And it's like, you didn't say I love you today. It's like,
the communication issues are really amplified. My wife and I talk about that all the time. It's just like the secret. It's cliche, but the secret to any good relationship is communication and being able to have those kind of conversations without turning them into fights. And those shows really amplify people's baggage. And most of them need therapy, if not all of them.
That's something we say very often. It's like, you don't need to be on a reality show. You need to be in therapy. What are we doing? It's like, I'm like, no, put him on the reality show.
If I was a casting agent, they were like, I was like, hey, have you ever been to therapy? And they're like, no. I'm like, you're in. The well-adjusted, evolved people, they don't make for good contestants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't want the people who've been to therapy. I like that casting selection there. I respect that. We play a game on this channel, Eric. It's called Partner Promo Punch in the Face. I'm going to give you 3 names, one to partner with, one to promo against, one to punch in the face. All right?
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. All right. I'm not going to make it too difficult, but also not too easy. I'm going to throw Bryan Danielson in there.
I got 3.
You got one? Okay, go ahead,
SP3. People that he is that he's had a connection with in his career.
Okay.
So we'll go Roderick Strong. We'll go the man that managed you towards the end of your Ring of Honor run, Prince Nana. And we'll go the man you mentioned earlier that beat you for the FIP championship, Go Shiozaki.
Oh, okay. So, man, this is a tough one because somebody is going to, get punched in the face. But I'm going to partner with Roddy. I feel like, Roddy and I were a tag team for a little bit near the end of my Ring of Honor run, and I really wish we could have done it more because I think we could have really excelled had we been given a chance. But alas, I'm going to have to punch Nana. Now, let me preface this. I love Nana. He is one of the greatest managers / mouthpieces to ever do the thing, I almost said step into the ring, but I guess that's not really appropriate for a manager. He's definitely one of the best mouthpieces, best managers ever. Like, anybody would be lucky to be managed by him. And I'm going to punch him in the face because I can't out promo him, but I can out promo Go Shiozaki because he doesn't speak English. So I'm going to roast his ass. Assuming we're here, promo has never been my strength, but I know I can take Go. Nana, no way. Because odds are, if he doesn't cook me, I'm going to start laughing because of something he says. I'm not going to be able to maintain my composure. He always had that effect. Near the end of my run when we were in the embassy together, I was fighting for my life in most of those promos. Like, he was just so funny. It was just like, the guys in Sweet and Sour. When I was privy to a lot of those, I was in the back. I was, behind the camera, just because our locker rooms are so small, it's not in a room. And they would do multiple takes, like multiple takes, not because people were messing up, but because Sweetie would make people laugh so much. And he would never break. Like, he never broke. He was serious, like 100%, like in character, just doing his thing. And, they would just laugh at everything. So, he was a special talent, and it was a big loss, pro wrestling loss, a very special guy when he left. But like, that dude and Nana are the 2 funniest guys, full-time wrestler guys that I can think of off the top of my head. And I would never in a million years try to out promo the Prince from Ghana. I would definitely like to try my hand at getting Go, but knowing Go, he'd probably get me with something. I don't know.
He'll use the Japanese.
He's fluent enough,
He'll use the Japanese erotic slang book against
there
you.
You go. There you go.
That's another thing. He would never say anything rude. Probably like, I mean, what are we gonna say to him though? Too, he's like, look at his resume.
Yeah.
Friggin'. Champion everywhere he goes. So what can I say to him that would insult him? But yeah, so that was a tough one, but
that was a good answer.
I try my best.
Was it when Nana was managing you, when he was cutting all the promos thanking Barack Obama for the stimulus?
Yes. And
I used to love those. Oh my God.
He paid for the
thank you, Barack Obama.
the jet, and like every and I know it's like the catchphrase, but what do you know about shrimp cocktail? Every time he would say that shit, I would laugh, like, because he would get so fired up too. Just another guy who gets locked in. He's just so locked in that it's hard not to watch and to not be like enamored with it and then get lost in the moment and start giggling about something. So.
Do you have an embassy run? We had somebody in our chat ask you, do you have an embassy run left in you if they called and like, let's get back together?
What is the embassy now? There's no embassy. It's just.
I'd Swerve and Nana, I guess.
Swerve,
yeah.
They don't need me. They don't need me. I really, to pull back the curtain a little bit. With the changing of the guard, Ring of Honor at that point, I really had wished there had been a little more investment in that story, and a little more creative direction. I would have been really, really fun to explore that with Nana, because he was just so creative and so just charismatic. But we didn't really get a chance to. It's kind of like, you're in the embassy. Here's just do the hand thing. I'm like, all right. So kind of an afterthought. But I have a lot of negative memories about that period of my career for those reasons, because when somebody doesn't believe in you, that can affect your confidence a lot. And even if they don't expressly state it, just the direction of your career, the way the matches you get and the opportunities you get makes you realize that you're an afterthought, and it really does affect your output. And that's why DPW, a company who has they've invested in me and they believe in me. That's why I'm on the run that I'm on, and I've always just desperately wanted the chance to prove to myself more than anything that I could compete at a high level. And I think that's what I'm doing right now. I've done it so far in our debut match, the 6-man tag, and then against LeBron, against Roddy, and I will do it again on November 7th against the bounty hunter Brian Keith.
There we go. Eric, we appreciate you joining us here today. Let everybody know where they can find you at and everything you got coming up.
Well, unlike a lot of you kids, I don't really put a lot of time and effort in my socials because I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Don't have any merch to sell yet. Don't have anything to promote other than my next show. I think that if you do not subscribe to DPW On Demand, you should. It's relatively affordable, especially I know in this day and age there's a million different streaming apps, but if you want to watch the best independent wrestling in the country right now, you need to subscribe to DPW On Demand, because they have a crazy back catalog of amazing matches, and every show they put on, especially Super Battle I think was, and I was just happy to be a part of it, was one of the best shows, if not the best show they've ever put on that I've seen from them. So if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe just for that show, and I think it'll make a believer out of you. You can follow me on Twitter, Erick Stevens 82. I don't post a lot these days, but there will come a time where I retire again and the hot takes will return, because I will put on my fan cap instead of my veteran cap. But I won't be vitriolic, I won't be divisive. I just have a lot of opinions that are strong, and they're based on years of experience, which that's one of my favorite things. When I would talk about something, critique something, and somebody would be like, "What do you know?" And then I would never do it, but somebody would always do my work for me, and they'd post my Wikipedia like, "It's this guy." They're like, "Oh." And every once in a while, "Oh, just so never has been." I go, "Listen," and I've said this before, and this is like as argumentative as I'll get. It's like let's bring it full circle with the sports references. Scalabrini, right? People would talk trash about him, and he'd go, "Look, I'm closer to Kobe Bryant than you are to me. So you've never taken a bump. I am closer to Ric Flair than you are to me." And this is one of my other favorites. I've only had a cup of coffee in this business, sure, but all you'll ever do is smell the beans. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, I think it's hard to walk that line as a fan / ex, current pro wrestler. You have to separate the two things. But at the end of the day, the reason we all got into this, well, most of us got into this business, was because we were fans first, and we enjoyed wrestling, and I enjoy performing, because all I ever wanted to do was to make people feel the way that I felt when I watched the matches that made me feel something. So as long as I can do that, even if it's a handful of people, I can be happy with that.
Again, we appreciate you joining us. We didn't even get to talk about cookies. We didn't even talk. We have a fake.
I'm retired from the cookie game. Dude, the food business. No, listen, everybody's watching this. Don't get into the food business. Don't do it. Become a pro wrestler. It's easier. It's easier. You might actually make money in pro wrestling. So.
We have a fake promotion called Ring of Hallucinations that we got to pitch you on with everything. So you're more than welcome.
Have you back.
Yes, yeah. Come back anytime. Again, the link doesn't change. If you're ever bored on a weekday morning and the Bucks are coming off a victory or anything, you want to talk some shit,
or
jump
loss.
on.
You probably get more out of me.
That's very fair too. Yeah, we talk about wrestling.
Team.
We talk about wrestling maybe 25% of the time on this show. Cool. Everything else is just completely off the wall. So if you're ever bored one weekday morning, pop on, bullshit banter with us. I appreciate you. You're always very fun on Twitter. I appreciate you joining us this morning, and good luck with everything moving forward, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
Take care.
See ya.
There you go. Erick Stevens, everybody. What a fun dude. He's fantastic.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, yes. Hey, everyone go watch DPW Super Battle. That's up on demand. Yes. I'm pretty sure it went up on Sunday night, so everybody can check that. Queen Amanada's on that show. Leon Slater's on that show. Violence is Forever is on that show. And again, Roddy faces Erick Stevens on that show. Adam Priest is in the main event defending the title. So yeah, it's a really good show. So I've only seen the Roddy and Eric match for preparation for this, but I know the whole show. DPW does so much good stuff. And
there's plenty more over on Fightful Overbooked. Click that subscribe button, tap that bell, get your notifications. And while you're at it, like the videos, interact with them, say some stuff. We want to hear from you. While you're at it, join us every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live for In the Weeds. You might like it.